Hey everybody, this is Chief Master Longoria and Rudy Longoria for TAC KM. We're going to kind of float into our knife defenses for the next couple videos. So the first one we're going to cover is just going to be on a number 1 cut and as well as a number 8. So the defenses are the same, so we're going to put those two together. We will go through 3, 5, and 7. We'll also go through 2, 4, and 6 in the next couple of videos, as well as on number 9 at the end. But for now, we're just going to focus on the 1 defense against the 2 different attacks. It's the same whether it's a number 1 slash or it's an ice pick stabbing down motion, which is a number 8 strike. So the defense itself is called the diving motion. But the word diving is a little bit misleading because I'm not actually going to jump at Rudy. I'm not diving at him. I'm kind of more like ducking into the motion. It'd be pretty hard pressed if somebody put a knife out for you to actually move towards that knife. Your natural instinct is going to be to evade away from it and get away because it's a contact weapon. So we have to kind of teach our body to, when we recognize the danger here, is then move in, and I let him come to me, which makes it look like I'm charging him, but he's actually coming at me if he's committed to his attack. And so I slide through. The idea being that my chin is down, my arm is straight up, so that there's a good chance I'm going to get cut. I mean, if there's a knife involved in a fight, you're going to bleed. Your goal is not to bleed out. You might get stabbed, and the idea is not to get multiple stabs. So we're just trying to minimize the danger of the knife itself, which is multiple attacks or continuous attacks, and we have to smother the weapon. And that means moving in and smothering the guy. So again, I'm in this position here. We'll go slow. So he's doing a number 1 cut, which is a 45-degree cut, as if he was lunging in and coming for my throat. So he'd be actually moving in to cut basically like a good hooking punch. So that brings him in. He's not doing this. He's not trying to fillet me. He's trying to come in and cut across my throat and decapitate me. So he's committed to his attack. So in this position here, again, it's floating in. The hands kind of come up together at the beginner level so that they remember to bring their arms up together, and then they both go out. One goes over the top, the other one goes to a gooseneck position, head goes down, and then from here I would immediately start striking. That's going to make him start to back up, and his arm will start to slide out. Now this is where the important part is. I see a lot of videos, the guys miss a couple of these little things. One is this: I need to make a fist, put it under my chin. The elbow needs to be down and against my ribs. That's what locks his wrist in position so he can't drive it out. If you notice here, his wrist is bent backwards in that motion. If I have my elbow out, he'd be able to slide through that line, and I'm going to end up back in another attack. So the goal is to make sure that I fist to chin, elbow tucked down as tight to my ribs as possible. Now I'm not going to be able to hold him there forever and just by hanging on, so a lot of the defense is going to be redirect, control, and then counter-attack. So again, the motion would be to redirect, control, and now I start counter-attacking techniques here. I'm looking for front kicks, I'm looking for knee strikes, I'm looking for headbutts. This hand is kind of stretching him out. Again, I keep my head down, so if he's bigger than me, he can't ragdoll me around. I don't want to be in an up position. I want my head down nice and low so I can see. So if he decides to want to punch me here, I can just turn his face away, and that ends up taking the power of his punch out because he can't rotate his body up. Again, I'm going to get hit, but I'm more concerned with not getting stabbed. So again, the defense is a diving motion. Arm needs to be straight, chin down. Here, I don't want to be looking up at the weapon. I want my head down. I also want it kind of away, so when it comes, it doesn't impale into the top of my head. Glances through my arm, and then I come through. Now, as they become a proficient, we take our students and they start thinking just the one arm. The other arm comes up and elbow strikes on that motion. So if he was coming in, my motion here is striking, elbow striking, and then clinching. Right away, knee striking, big back him up, boom. Going to the shin kicks here, arm is locked in, strike. Now from here, I would keep kicking and striking until it goes down to a knee. When it goes to a knee, now I'm in a position where I can disarm him. From here, hand goes up. I keep this tight because he might want to try to pull away. So this comes up, clamps onto the wrist, and then it's a quick circle motion over the top. Both thumbs are behind the wrist. I rotate over, keep it on my chest as a prayer technique and a wrist locking technique, and I drag him to the ground. At the same time, I want to make sure I flatten him all the way out, so I drag him down here. and I make sure my chest is still on the hand. I make him look away from me. Knee goes to the base of the head here, and then I can rotate his arm around through, and then thumb into the palm of the hand, strip the weapon out. Now I'm in a position here. If he's still fighting here, then there's off strikes this way as well. As well as when he goes down, I just placed my knee on the base of his neck. In the fight, it would be down, and I would just drop hard and strong. That might take care of the whole fight, the disarming problems right there, just with that good strong drop. Again, this is the defense against a number 1 slash. The number 8 slash is just a different grip position for him. He's going to go to a reverse grip, and he's coming over the top. Now, I know there's some systems that will teach, well, if it's a number 1 slash, we do a block kind of a motion to trap the arm. If it's a downwards, then we do the dive. Honestly, you would never have time to make the difference. I mean, if the weapon comes up, all you know is it's a high attack. So we want to go with the one that'll work for both of them. The outside one does not work on the stabbing, the downward stab. There's no way I can outside block that with that not just driving down and through me. But this one here, I can dive through. If he's doing a number 1 slash, I could block here. Again, it's more of a stop motion. I'd rather just go ahead and make sure I slide through, and I'm not hesitating. Okay, which am I going to do? Am I going to block or dive? To me, it's just like, okay, there's a weapon coming at my face or my throat. I'm going to just dive. So again, if he comes with the diving motion here, then it's the same defense. He'll go to my back. I hook. He'll want to recoil the weapon back, and that's when it locks up into that wrist position like a knot. So I remember I have to make sure that this hand is in a fist. Open hand is a loose knot. I want to keep it a tight knot. Elbow pinched in tight, head on his shoulder, and again I start striking until he drops down to 1 knee. This position here is probably the biggest thing I see as a mistake on most videos that are going on. The other part too is that, you know, the reality of is here is when Rudy comes at me, I'm not stepping towards him. All I'm doing is just tucking my head down and leaning. I'm letting him come into me. That's the actual dive effect. Remember, the attacker is coming to me. If he's not committed to the attack, and he's maybe he's doing the number 1 slashes here, and he's not committed, I'm evading. I'm trying to stay away from it. It's when he decides to come in to get me here. That's when I come in with the diving motion. I have to let him commit. If I'm able to disengage a little bit, and he's just slashing here this way, I'm kicking at his crotch here, kind of making it matter, so that he decides, I'm going to cut your throat, and he really wants to commit to the technique. So now I let him come towards me. And again, I don't actually physically go at him. I just basically just let him come to me with that diving motion. Diving motion would be kind of equated to like a little kid diving off the edge of a swimming pool for the first time, where they just kind of stand there forever until you finally just give them a little tap. And that's basically about as much. We're not actually diving towards the knife. Psychologically, that would never happen. Again, the biggest thing you're going to be working with your students, or those of you that are training, as a reminder to my students, is that 1, we have to know the physical techniques that we're doing, but 2, we have to know the psychological part of what's going on. There's a knife, and it's brutal, it's vicious, and it's continuous. So you have to either run away from it, get away as fast as you can, or you have to smother. There is no in between. You can't sit there and try to parry the knife. You're going to have to end up smothering that weapon, or just trying to totally disengage and get away. Those are basically your 2 choices. The best choice is to run away and get away from the knife. He can't cut you that way. But if you can't run, or you can't leave the scene because you're trying to protect somebody else, then you're going to need to smother that weapon. And psychologically, you have to know, I'm probably going to bleed, and I'm probably going to get cut. I might get stabbed. I just make sure that I know that I can redirect it away from a vital organ, and then I can survive the attack. Most importantly, protecting my throat area, so that that would be the easiest place to bleed out. So we want to make sure we're covering that up. Always guess wrong on a body shot, never on the upper body motion, face or throat. And that's our first video for our knife defenses. We'll be adding to them in the next couple days. Thanks a lot.